looks like we're connected.
Looks like we are.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Top 10 List podcast. My name is Brian.
My name is Sarah.
Nice to have you here. Hi, guys. How are you?
How's it going?
Good.
Hello.
We'll get to you guys in a second. Yeah. I didn't give you the spiel about like, oh, I'll check in with you in a moment.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was totally my bad. So everybody at home, welcome to the Top 10 List podcast. If you have not seen the show before, every week we get together a couple of guests and have them compete to assemble a top 10 list. This week it's top 10 list of best toys is what we're playing with. We record this live. It actually goes out live on Periscope, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So please, you can watch on any of those things, or you might be listening at home later on. So hello to everybody. It seems like I change the script every week, and I wish I would just stick to it. Like I prepare it, and then I never look at it. That's what's happening. Okay, let's get into this. First of all, we'll introduce Dennis. You are sitting right next to me. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Very good.
Good.
Thanks.
Are you? Was it hard to prepare a list of best toys?
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
If you ask my wife, it's far too easy for me.
Do you own any of the toys that we're talking about tonight?
I have owned them in the past.
Yes.
Fortunately, I also have children who I can also mask my purchases.
He
through.
does
That's
this a
nice.
lot.
Yeah. Mine are older now, so they're getting
Wait,
out of that.
This isn't live, is it? No.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Christy's at work, so.
I'll tell you guys about a toy I recently bought, but later on down the road. But I do have a Voltron at home. I don't know if you remember the old
yeah.
Oh,
Voltron.
hell yeah, Voltron.
Yeah.
I have a full metal Voltron at
The
home.
old school
Oh.
die-cast.
The old school die-cast.
Matchbox. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They all fit together. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
The jaws were plastic, though, right? Like the bottom jaw was?
I think so. Some of the pieces are plastic, like the
wings.
Right.
The wings
black
are plastic.
Yeah, the black lions.
But it's pretty sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
By the way, Johnny, hi. How are you?
hello.
Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, do you guys do a podcast together?
We do.
What podcast? Sorry, I know.
Gotta.
That's a different one.
Yeah. What podcast do you guys do?
We do Graphic Novel Explorers Club.
What is this? I haven't even. Is this your new project? How long have you been doing this?
The fourth season's going to be starting
Well,
in the
fuck
new
me.
year.
Yeah, I don't get out much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to support us, buddy.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No, it's Dennis had originally wanted to do a reading club for comic books.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said it, I was like, we should do it as a podcast.
Yeah.
Because that's how my brain operates.
And I said no.
Yeah. And then we started the podcast, and then 2 years ago started a reading club with Oblivion Comics.
Nice.
So we do both.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's fun. We in fact our Halloween, we started off just doing 12 episodes, and then as things progressed, we did a summer special, which is kind of like goofy stuff. Our we have a third co-host named Francis.
Yeah.
And she usually takes the summer off, so then him and I just like deep dive into dumb.
Then we get
dumb
really
stuff.
nerdy.
Yeah.
So then you don't have any balance whatsoever.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
do whatever
yeah.
you
Mom's
want.
out of the room.
Yeah.
We're just totally.
But yeah, we just did our first Halloween special, which was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Putting effects into the episode.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
I want you guys to be a part of a show I'm doing on the first season of next year at the Comedy Spot Live. It's going to be Geek Out. Have you ever seen that show yet?
No.
Yeah, so it's a geek. It's all. It should be called like Geek Curious. It's like all the things you really like about geek stuff.
Yeah.
But it's one of the shows I produce at the Comedy Spot. You guys should be a part of it
yeah.
next time.
Absolutely.
It's
Okay.
super fun.
Yeah, it is a really
I'm
fun
not
show.
even a nerd or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do with the comic book podcast too. Is like it's not specifically just for nerds.
Right.
Like we really want to have it be like an entry point into like.
That's
If
exactly.
you don't want to,
Yeah.
maybe you're not sure about this comic book, and then
Yeah.
we review it and say, yeah, this is definitely worth checking out.
Right. Maybe you thought about having sex with a man, but you just want to dabble and put your finger on his penis a little
Yeah.
bit. That's what my show is like.
There you go.
Just
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
it's like
And so is the Top 10 List
It is.
podcast.
Porn.
that was gonna be our original top 10. It's like ways to test the waters with your sexuality. And
Yeah, that's it. That's how we're rolling. You guys are great. Thank you for being here tonight.
thanks for
Thank
having us
you.
on.
All right, so I got some things to
Are
do.
you hot? Are you itchy?
Yeah.
No, my shirt's tighter than I like.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
man. This is where he
that's-
takes it off, right?
No.
Okay.
I've
Turn
seen
this
this
little light
plot
back off.
before.
Yeah.
I see how
Is
it's
this gonna
going.
turn into the episode of what's the show with Arnold? Different Strokes, where they go.
Oh, yeah, the
the
photographer.
We got the light, the camera.
Is that? Oh,
I don't know
Do
this.
they take advantage of him or something? Or try
Yeah,
to?
the
Yeah.
little redheaded kid that came
Oh.
in, towards the-
Oh.
and it was the
No.
record station.
That was
the
a
re-
traumatizing episode.
No, we are
dude.
not.
Yeah,
gonna
you
do
guys
that.
both remember it.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny and I are the exact same age, so a lot of times we have the
Oh.
same
Can
kind
you
of reference
can you
points.
share how old you guys are?
44.
44. Yes.
I'm like 2
You too?
weeks older.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
44.
What the
also.
hell?
We're all
That's
44.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
June 22nd.
Yeah.
July 5th.
January 24th.
Oh, so
Yeah.
You're the oldest of them.
Yikes.
Young blood.
Yeah.
I just started buttoning my shirt off.
What?
That getting
What's going
freaky.
on?
You're doing it to
down.
yourself.
Freaky,
You're doing it to
dicky.
yourself.
I went to do the David Letterman.
Yeah.
but the
Uh,
Help me.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm so
Lot
sorry.
of dude-
I apologize.
you're gonna want to leave now because it's gonna get freaky deaky in here.
I want to say thank you to everybody joining us live. It's always one of my favorite parts of the show because you guys get to play around. So I know that we've just been riffing for a while and stuff like that, but stick around because we actually depend on you to be part of the show. So hang
Yes.
out. Let's see. Before we get started, I want to thank the Sacramento Comedy Spot for allowing us to have this little room where we get to record podcasts and things like that. And, I've been editing a lot of videos. We have a new series of videos coming up called Meet Blank. You're in one of the first episodes.
Oh, I didn't know it's called Meat Blank.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell's that?
Meat and then like just brackets and then
person.
you put
EET
the.
or EAT?
No, that'd be weird. It's just MEET. Meat.
We just continue his other series.
Yeah. All my podcasts and videos are all sexual. No, it's a new series where we just introduce people that are part of the Comedy Spot community and
Oh,
we do
right on.
little
Yeah,
interviews
you've been
and
doing
stuff
some
like
really cool videos. Like I
Thank you.
For the listener, I'm a big fan of the Comedy Spot.
that. Yeah.
And you guys have really been, like this past year, really broadened and stepped up, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
like
Very
the
cool.
the content that you guys.
Thank
I hate
you.
saying content, but
Yeah.
just,
It is
like,
content. Yeah,
but
right.
the stuff that you guys are producing.
Thank
is
you.
Really like top notch.
We're even look for even more. We are upping our game.
You know
We
what? I'm
are-
good.
Awesome.
Yeah. No.
I'm good with how it
With
is
what
now.
you have. Okay.
So-
Good. All right. Fine. I guess I'm gonna shut down everything that I'm working
No, not
on.
everything.
No,
just,
no, it's all
just
going
no
away.
more.
Yeah,
Okay.
just no more. And the other thing I wanted to plug too is Rhea Butcher is coming into town. They're a national headlining comedian. They'll be here November 15th and 16th. We still have tickets available, but they are there's two shows. The 8 p.m. shows on both nights are getting close to sold out. So don't mess around. Buy your tickets in advance. You will not regret. Rhea Butcher is a fantastic comedian. And if you are in like a different state and support the Comedy Spot, which we have people outside of Sacramento
I
that
didn't know
dig
that.
what we do now.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We're big. We have 5
Lots of
outside of Sacramento fans.
Are you big in Germany?
Huge in Germany, bro. Huge in Germany. But thank you for watching. And if you like to support the Comedy Spot, you can't pay for a ticket or anything like that or take a class. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SacComedySpot. All right, let's get into this. Do we have
Yeah.
some people
We do.
online?
Yeah.
You want to say hi to some folks?
Hello, Lisa was like one of the first persons who logged on. Hello, Lisa. Abby, but she just went to bed.
Oh,
Louise,
Abby, come
I
on.
know Abby. Sorry,
She'll
Louise,
watch later.
Liz,
All right,
Mary,
Yeah.
take it back.
Evan.
Well,
Actually, Evan was the first person to get
Yeah.
on here. So, yeah.
Well, hello,
Hi,
everybody.
guys.
Let me explain to you the rules of the show. Here's how it works. So each round, you will share with us your pick for that slot. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Each round, either me or Sarah will determine who wins that round, and you get a point for that round. There will be some rounds where we'll also go to the Mevo or to the live. We'll have them
Cool.
pick the winner. The person with the most points wins the game, and they get a high five from Sarah.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Just
on.
one single
one?
high
One.
five.
Well,
One.
Apparently there was an incident.
No.
Someone just kept high fiving.
So we have to
Just
clarify
one.
that now.
Every time you have rules, it means someone broke those rules.
So, high five. Indulgence story, real quick.
Yeah.
I worked with a person many years ago at Planned Parenthood, and they know who they are in case they're checking this out.
Yeah.
Who would high five everything, high five, and finally got to the point where I had to tell him, I'm not high-fiving anybody anymore. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You've ruined me for.
You don't even
There's a
want.
sign that says like no
Yeah.
high fiving.
So I didn't high five for like 7 years.
Whoa.
And then I finally started doing
And
it.
you
again.
relapsed.
Yeah. And I was like, well, you know what?
I'll go back.
Save it for
I
your
can do it
movie,
again.
Johnny.
Yeah. my biography movie.
You know what? I almost forgot too. By the way, you get one switch per game, which is why this sign sits here, and it should be facing us. But then I just faced it the other direction. So it says, "Don't forget your switch." That means that if you lose a round, you could say, "I use my switch," and then you win that round.
Oh.
But watch out because they can also use their switch in the same round.
Oh,
Yeah.
counter
Switch.
They're nullifying your switch.
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
like an Uno when you put
Yeah,
a wild
yeah.
+4 and then they slap on another wild
Yeah.
+4.
And then you're like, "You got me."
Yep.
So that's how the game works. I think we're ready to go. Johnny, you're furthest away from me, so you get to go first.
All right.
So this is starting to compete for the best toys.
So my number 10 is the Knight Rider Big Wheel.
Ooh. Yeah, Knight Rider Big Wheel.
I had-
I think if you're in your 40s, you're gonna love this show tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm in the wrong decade.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Knight Rider is.
Can you explain?
Bum, ba-da-bum,
man.
bum, ba-da-bum, bum. That's the Knight Rider theme song.
Okay.
So Knight Rider was a show in the 80s, early 80s. We're talking Silver Spoons era.
Yeah.
I think they even did a crossover thing.
Oh,
with
if they
the
did, that's
Ricker.
terrible.
What?
They were launching the shows that fall, and they did like a special.
Ugh.
But
Hasselhoff talking.
yeah. So Knight Rider was a show about this guy who was a cop, and then he gets
Kill-
bad guys think they kill him,
Kill
but
him.
Oh.
yeah, but then he gets plastic
But he-
surgery and he looks like David Hasselhoff. It is
Oh.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be funny if the show was he looked like,
Looks like
David
David
Hasselhoff.
He just
Hasselhoff.
looked like
His
a
face.
and then the whoever decided to do this reconstruction surgery on him.
The Knight Foundation.
Knight Industries.
Oh.
Yeah, Knight Industries. Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Knight Industries. That's and then
Yeah.
KIT. That's what
yeah.
KITT stood.
Yeah.
It was an acronym.
Oh.
Apparently, someone's a super fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you guys are like trying to outdo
Kit-
each other.
the car. There was no Knight Rider in the show, but the car was KIT, KITT, and it was a Camaro, Trans Am Camaro that had
Oh.
a supercomputer in it that was like intelligent, and it could talk to him through the it had a watch.
So it's basically a Tesla now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
and it was like self-driving. It had turbo boost, which could jump over stuff.
Yeah.
And
And
The
this
voice
is the
was-
toy that you're talking about. Is
So-
this car?
so then
Oh.
Big Wheel produced
Okay.
a
There's,
Knight.
there's a lot of levels.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
This is deep.
Backstory.
I'm gonna lose automatically on just how deep this is.
Yeah.
We just lost all the 20-year-old viewers. They're like,
Yeah.
"Bop, I'm out."
Nope.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. So then Big Wheel produced a Knight Rider version of it, and the thing that was most Knight Rider or most Big Wheels had like a steering wheel type thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But Knight Rider had a weird like rectangular
Steering
steering
type
wheel,
of steering.
Yeah.
and that's what they had on the Big Wheel.
Okay.
I
And the
think it had-
front was the hood.
yeah, and Knight Rider, the kit car had a red thing that would go woo woo. woo, woo.
Okay,
The
so this
slide-
is
and that was like a
very
thing.
If
on
we
the-
have to go this deep to every pick, this is going to be a 2-hour
Yeah,
long
yeah,
podcast.
right.
we're gonna have to come back next week.
Yeah. So, and by the way,
Yeah.
Big Wheels.
I will not ever ask a question again.
So
Old
big,
men.
big Wheels, you know, the 3-wheelers. It's like,
Yeah.
you've seen my trike, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I bought a trike, by the way. I have
A
2 of them.
couple,
If you guys
yeah.
ever
Like
want to
nice.
ride.
size strikes.
Like an adult-sized trike.
Wow.
Yeah. They're
They
sick.
go vroom vroom. It's crazy.
Does it have the brake on the side to spin
No,
you out?
but it can spin out for sure.
Oh.
You can go to my YouTube page, youtube.com/Brian Grawl. But yeah, there's a whole picture, there's a whole video on there with my trikes, and
Cool.
all my family was
Nice.
racing them around a cul-de-sac. Anyway, so it was one of those. It was like a
Okay.
Knight Rider one of those.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the Big Wheel, the feature on the Big Wheel too is it had a power brake.
Oh,
so you'd be
so
riding,
you really would
you'd
go
lock up your front wheel and hit that
fishtail.
power brake, and it would flip you around. It was.
Yeah.
I had the Dukes of Hazzard one.
Okay,
But I
you
was
did
on
have
that
one.
Knight Rider.
That
The
was my next
racist one.
question.
Okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, that's why I bought it. That's why my parents bought it.
Yeah, that's why your parents bought it.
They're like, we have a choice. Let's get the racist
Look,
one.
to be fair, everyone loved the Dukes of Hazzard.
To be fair, nobody knew that was racist at the
No,
time when they were a
yeah.
kid, and then they're like, "Oh, it's
That's
the
how racism works.
yeah."
That was
Always,
that
like,
was
later.
one of the toys that did not make my list. Was my General Lee, and I really loved it.
I know. All right, so Knight Rider Big Wheel. Dennis, what are you gonna put against Knight Rider Big Wheel?
I got a real banger. It's Viewfinder.
Viewfinder. Ooh.
Any of those who remember, it was the one where you had to hold it up to a light.
Yeah.
And you had to put these little
Yeah,
discs in, and they had little images, and it kind of had a pseudo
And it had
like
a
3D
3D,
effect.
It was really cool.
It usually told a story through the whole wheel. And you
Yeah.
had to clicking
Yes,
it.
I
This
know
is
this.
before you could have portable DVD players and portable movie players. This is how you entertain
So, like-
yourself on the road.
Yeah.
And
Pictures.
that's how, yeah, exactly. That was my to-go for like
with like
traveling.
stills from like movies.
right or
Wow.
originals or cartoons.
Yeah.
And yeah, mine were Spider-Man. I had Batman.
I remember one that I looked at had like all the 8 Wonders of the World
nice.
or something like that.
See, my mom got the cheap version, and all I had was like stills from episodes of Donahue. So it would just be him standing like this.
The
with a
talk show?
microphone.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
and then there'd be gasoline sitting in the chair, and then him like cutting back to like, kind of making a point and pointing up in the
I
air.
feel whatever you guys are saying, I have to translate for Sarah.
Yes.
this
What
time.
does this mean?
You know who Donahue is,
No.
right? No.
Oh my God.
Honestly, guys, you don't even have to worry
No,
about me.
it's like Ellen, but a dude.
No,
Yeah, I
Oprah.
can
Like a
gather
Oprah.
that.
Oprah.
Because he started Oprah.
Yeah.
No,
He started
Donahue
Oprah.
was like
He made
the
Oprah.
talk show king, and then Oprah like surpassed
over,
him,
yeah.
and like basically
Well,
he was like Sarah Jessica Raphael.
This is really a throwback episode. This is
Yeah.
this
really
is wild.
I feel like
I'm gonna boost this episode online, but I'll just tag all the 40-year-olds in the village.
AARP is going to want to get a hold of this episode.
yes, please sponsor
maybe
us.
if we throw it on TikTok, maybe we'll get some of the younger.
I don't know.
That's,
All right, so I have to choose between Knight Rider Big Wheel and Viewfinder. I find that the Viewfinder for me like brings in like sentimental value. Like it was a little younger it felt like it was a younger toy for me. But I appreciate a good trike, so I'm gonna pick Knight Rider Big Wheel for this.
Bum,
So,
bada, bum, bum,
so,
bada, bum, bum,
Johnny,
bada,
you pick up the
bum,
point.
bum.
It's all yours.
spin out.
Count it.
It's been
He likes to spin out.
number 9. Dennis, you get to go first for this one.
Yeah, I got laser tag.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, OG laser tag. You either were a Photon fan or a laser tag fan. Photon had the live action show. Laser tag had the cartoon. But laser tag had the
It was
little
way sleeker and cooler
Oh yeah,
looking.
it had
Yeah.
had the little like vest thing that you had to
Okay,
wear,
yeah.
and it had like a cool looking space gun.
It's pretty cool.
And yeah, it was pretty.
Photon
awesome.
had the one that they use
It was
it
like a
in big.
backpack.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
when he's playing laser tag and
That's
big.
right, yeah.
That was the Photon one, and I specifically remember watching that movie and go, "No effing kid would want to play with that. They want the laser tag."
Yeah, laser tag one was cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so if my friend Dan P from ages ago is there, I appreciate you letting me use your laser tag set.
I
This
never
is like
had.
an
I never
at-home
played.
laser tag.
Yeah.
Well, and it was
Cool.
not just the gun. The
There was a
the
chest
really cool
vest.
kids had the rifle.
Because you can.
Yeah.
And then so I had friends who
Whoa.
had the rifle and they painted it camo. It was pretty awesome.
There was
and at
there was
night
a
you would see
helmet with
the
a
light.
sensor.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I was a little bit more poorer than that.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't know
Oh,
a
I
single
didn't
kid had
own
laser
this.
tag.
I full on. I
Yeah.
relied upon my friends.
I played Ghostbusters at home, but I did it by having a backpack, and then I cut the lawn dart thing so that it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
tube, and then I had it on a shock to a car, and that was my little pistol. The little
See, mine was backpack with string
Uh-huh.
to a paper towel roll.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good too. That's
That was
good.
That's why I totally didn't believe Stranger Things when I saw their backpacks. I
Nope.
was like,
Yeah,
that's way too
no.
good for a bunch of kids to put
Yeah,
together.
no way, no way. All right, what are you gonna put against laser tag?
So I'm going up against laser tag with Spy Tech,
Spy tech.
which was a thing that was out in the mid '80s, late '80s, where
I have to Google this really quick. Go
it
ahead.
was like a periscope was one kit. They had another one that like had fingerprint dust. They had another one that had
yeah.
like goggles with like a microscope. It was just like a thing to make kids feel like they could be spies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the main job I wanted as a child. was
Yeah.
Oh no,
to
totally.
be a
Spy or
spy.
ninja. That was pretty much the
Yeah.
only occupation you had.
And I wanted that Spy Tech so bad, and my mom was like, "I'm not buying this for you." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Damn it!"
Yeah.
She's like, "You've got perfectly good 2x4s and nails to go play with out in the backyard." I'm like,
Go roll in the dirt,
Yeah,
Johnny.
yeah.
All right, so Spy Tech versus laser tag. Spy Tech versus laser tag. And then we'll talk to the audience and see if
Yeah.
they're still there and if they're tracking in.
I feel like our audience has already gone to sleep. By
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
Some of them are talking about what time it is where they are. So
It's so late. They're already getting ready to tap out.
I'm tired. I think it's real fun to play laser tag in your own living room, so I'm gonna go with that.
Okay,
That sounds fun.
laser tag. Very
Yeah.
good. So Dennis, you pick up the point for that.
Cool.
What are people? Anybody saying anything online? I feel like
Uh,
Evan has something to say on this. but-
Barbie. People talking about Barbie.
Oh yeah, Barbie
I don't
is
think
good.
something tells me you guys will not mention Barbie on your list.
Wow, that is really.
am I
Big
sorry? Am I
assumption.
wrong? I'm
I was
pigeonholing
more of a
it.
strawberry shortcake guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Rainbow Bright, man.
The Green Army Men and original log
Yes.
cabins.
We used to
Yeah.
play with Green Army Men all
yeah.
the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was
Especially the
great.
parachute one.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
the
are
parachute
great.
was amazing. Yeah.
We used to shoot them with. We would set them all up, and then we would take rubber bands, and then
Yup.
that's how we would take them out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
So,
awesome.
all right,
Cool.
so laser tag picked up number 9. We're at number 8. We're back over to Johnny. What's your pick for number?
All right, I'm gonna do the song for it. First you run, and then you slide, you hit the bump, and then you fly the Crocodile Mile.
The crocodile. I'm not familiar with this.
Oh, the Crocodile Mile. There was the original, just like buster ass slip and slide,
Right?
and then the Crocodile Mile came out like in '88, '87, and it was a slip and slide that had a bump
Oh.
into a
What?
pool, and at the bump there was like a circle with little tapestries of a crocodile on there. And so you'd run.
Yeah.
First you run, then you
Isn't
slide,
there?
you hit the bump, and then you dive. That's it.
Yeah.
And
then
you would
dive
dive through into like it had
like a little pool.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
I
really
wanted that
cool. I'm
Crocodile
watching a
Mile.
commercial for it now, but I can't play it because I don't want to get
Yeah.
copyright
Oh, yeah.
strike against us.
Yeah, just go on YouTube and type
But
in
this
Crocodile
book
Mile
looks pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I
It's a
wanted a
slip and slide with
crocodile.
some like benefits. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
with the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool at the end. I like it. It's like a car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis, what are you going to put against crocodile?
Wow, that's really
Mile?
tough.
Yeah,
Mine's
that's a tough-
actually gumball machine slime. So that's just basically slime that you would get in the gumball machine.
Oh, yeah.
Green slime.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, my
Like-
kids love making the slime itself, but back in the day, you would just kind of buy it from a gumball
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
And I mean, that Ghostbusters were popular.
That's what that made
Oh
it.
yeah, you would just like slime all your GI Joes.
Yeah.
He-Man
Oh, yeah.
had
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah,
the thing where the ooze
yeah,
would come
dumpster.
from the top.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. So yeah, green slime.
Green slime. And the kids are making it these days. I've seen
Yeah.
that. Everyone
Yeah.
makes their own slime now.
Oh yeah, it's like
very
an
cool.
obsession. I don't know why it wasn't like you could make it when we were kids. I don't know if the
Because it was
Yeah.
toxic.
right.
So you had to have access.
So we just don't care anymore.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
now
pretty
it's
much.
safe. Back then it was
We used
toxic.
to use gasoline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really strange. It was so cheap. I used to. Okay. So I was. Well. You know what? I'll wait because you'll probably have this on your list.
Okay,
I'm gonna
all right.
wait on that. So we are between Crocodile Mile and Gumball. Or excuse me, Gumball Machine Slime, which is really good. So this is my pick. You get the next one, and then we'll go to the audience.
Sure. We have
Um,
someone from England watching, so I'm going to
Oh.
pick her. Luis, you're going to pick
Yeah, she's great.
not next time, but next time.
Yeah.
Good day, Mike.
She's like,
Hi,
she's
Mike.
like, that's it. I'm out.
Yeah, she's
she's
like,
like,
I'm
yep.
not Australian, you asshole.
I'm gonna go with. Oh man, see both of these things because as a kid you love getting a quarter and putting in those damn machines. And you're like,
Yeah.
What am I gonna get?
Yeah, and you're like, come on, Daddy needs some slime.
Got the damn
And then you,
bouncy ball again.
yeah, I know. Oh, you'd play with it for 5 seconds, it
Yeah.
would bounce away from you.
Right.
Be gone.
Yeah, you'd bounce it onto something like, well, that's that.
But the slip and slide was the pinnacle of outdoor playing in the summer,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
especially in California.
That was the upgrade
yeah.
from running through the sprinkler.
Yeah,
Right.
way upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So-
like going from a Chevette to a Corvette.
It's true. I'm gonna go with the Crocodile Mile on this one. So, Johnny, you pick up the point for that.
Sweet.
Yes, very good.
Nice.
It helps to have
Done.
a theme song, too. So if your little slime thing has a theme song, then
You
go
know-
ahead and sing it.
You know what's great about being a kid in the 80s was everything had a theme song.
Yeah.
I know.
Party, pizza party. I mean, there was, remember that game?
No.
Oh, man.
Pizza party game. It was pizza party. You guys remember that?
I'm sorry. The
That's a-
dementia's really hitting.
Pizza party.
That's a deep cut.
I used to sing that. I used to supervise a couple people at the county animal shelter when I worked there, and they were all significantly younger than me. And I would, like, if it was a busy day or something like that, I would order pizza for the clerks under me, and I would always sing party, pizza party, and they thought I made that up. And then one day, like, someone was like, that's a pretty good song. How did you come up with that? I was like, I didn't. It's from a board game in the 80s. And like, what?
What's really funny is when you were singing that, I was watching the commercial for it, and your singing synced up perfectly with the guy's
I probably
lips.
look like him now, too.
See, we could
You
TikTok
just
that.
need a bigger
Yeah.
Italian
Grow this out.
mustache. Yeah. All right, so Dennis, it's number 7. Back to you. You get to pitch your first. You get to pitch the first pitch in
Gotcha.
in round 7.
This is Star Wars lightsaber.
Oh.
Is mine.
Oh.
And now this is specifically the version I had in the 80s. I've actually bought my kid, secretly me, lightsabers since then. But what was cool about this one in the 80s is it didn't retract or anything, but it had some weird like wind tunnel thing in the handle. So when you
At the end of the lightsaber.
it didn't lightsaber.
Yeah.
So when you started wishing it around, it would make naturally using science.
Using
Yeah.
So I played
That's
that today.
great.
Nice.
All right, so Star Wars lightsaber.
Microchips were small enough
No,
back then. To,
no.
No, yeah, they
It would have cost $3,000 to make.
Yeah,
that
there was
lightsaber.
no lights like the cool
Yeah.
ones you can pay $200 at Disneyland for.
Oh yeah.
I had the Han Solo.
Oh, the
his
pistol.
gun,
Yeah.
and you had to click these 2 buttons to make the make the sound of his gun shooting.
Yeah.
And then this little kid, he was like 2 years younger than me, lived across the street, and he had a wooden spoon. That was his lightsaber. So I got this gun on my birthday, and he was like, "Oh, can I play with that? And I'll let you play with my lightsaber." I was like, "Kid, that's a wooden spoon."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This is Han Solo's gun.
Yeah, F your wooden spoon. Yeah.
And then like a month later, it was his birthday, and his parents got him, and it was the green lightsaber,
Oh,
not
from
the blue.
Jedi.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, I'll let you use my gun if you." And he's like,
Nobody.
I got the lightsaber. You got Han Solo's gun. I was like, "Damn it, backfired."
Shit comes
And I
around.
Big
learned how to be
mistake.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. And then I always shared my toys.
Yep, I'd always share.
So what are you gonna put against Star Wars lightsaber?
I'm stacking up a Veritech fighter from Robotech.
Oh.
Robotech. I remember this too. Hold on, I got to look at this really quick. I know this is the like soldiers.
It's the it looks like a Tomcat, but
Right.
it can transform into like a
robot.
or like what they call a chicken walker. And
It's actually Guardian mode.
yeah, Guardian mode, but they call it chicken walker or Garrett Walker.
Easy, nerds. Easy.
Man.
Calm down, man.
It was Jurwalk
let's-
mode if you were talking Macross.
Let's keep
Whoa.
it civil. Let's keep it
I
civil.
like spray you with a spray bottle or something. Guys in line.
I loved Robotech when I was a kid,
Oh, yeah.
and I wanted one of those,
Mhm.
but they were so expensive back then. My mom was like, "Again, you've got 2x4s and nails."
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Go play.
So you never owned this?
no, to this day.
I managed to kind of cheat, and this wasn't on my list, but I got a Transformer
Yeah, it's
Jetfire,
Jetfire.
who basically they repurposed the Robotech toy and recolored him
Oh.
for Jetfire. So I was like, bonus 2 toys in 1.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
That is nice.
I did watch the Robotech cartoon when it was on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't have a Robotech toy. It's pretty sick. Okay, good. I'll take that. So
Okay.
you get to choose.
What if
this
I
round.
have Louise choose? Because she says it's 6 a.m. in England and she gotta go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Louise, you're gonna choose, and it is between.
Star Wars lightsaber or Robotech?
Okay,
The-
Louise.
Veritech fighter.
Veritech fighter.
Okay. Ding ding ding.
We don't want you to
ding,
miss the
ding,
tube.
ding.
Yeah. All right. While she's messing around with that, I didn't have Robotech toys. I had some Transformer
Yeah.
toys. I was into that for a while. I still don't want to bring up anything else because I know they're gonna make the list. So. I'll put a
Yeah.
cork
Put a
on it.
hole. Yeah.
What toys did you play with when you were a kid? What was popular?
I had a speak and spell.
Yeah, sick,
Okay, had that. Like my brother's toys and stuff. I was the only girl, so like, you know, I had keyboards and stuff, like musical stuff too. So that was good.
That's cool.
Handy.
Yeah.
But none of this.
Were you into dolls or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I
You
did have like
the
a Barbie.
feed a doll, feed the baby, and it poops.
Oh wait, I did have this weird baby that like it had like peas in like a little spoon, and then you
What?
put it against the baby's mouth, and the peas would retract inside
Yeah,
the
yeah,
spoon. So it's
yeah.
like, whoa.
So my sister had the ones where it came with packets, and you'd mix it with water,
Yeah.
and
you
then you'd
feed
pour
them.
that in the thing, and you'd
And you actually
put it in the
would
baby's
feed
mouth.
it.
Yeah, and it had like some sort of battery-powered like motor thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've used this
So
technology on sex dolls,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
since because its mouth will be like.
Man, there must be so much fungus in that toy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
nasty.
and then like 30 seconds later, the same colored food would come out the doll's ass, and there'd be a diaper, and
then-
she'd have to change it
Yes,
and wipe the
teaching
butt,
her how to.
or
mother.
I would just.
So.
But what's
wild.
funny is some kids got their finger caught in this doll's mouth,
Yeah.
and then they would get hurt and
Oh,
have
what?
to go. Yeah, because it would eat their finger
Oh, yeah,
essentially.
the original
so.
Chucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Does she have a choice?
No, not yet. This is the
Oh.
issue with it sometimes.
I know. Yeah.
Release.
The bad part
I
is
know.
that we're on a delay of like
Little
at
bit
least
of
a couple
delay.
seconds.
Yeah,
So.
at least a couple.
Well,
But
if you have to back up pick if she doesn't pick soon.
okay.
Between the lightsaber and the Veritech fighter of Robotop.
Yeah.
We can go
good.
into more of the lore of Robotech. for-
No,
Yeah.
no, it's okay. It's
And the
okay.
difference between second generation and third
No,
generation.
Garbage.
no.
Yeah.
I will
Seconds.
just I'll just say I'm gonna go lightsaber.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
I
That's a safe
just have
bet.
to because it's the only thing I know, kind of.
All right, well, Dennis, you won that round.
Right
So Star Wars lightsaber. I mean, it's a classic. You have to go with that. That would have
Yeah,
been my
kinda.
pick too.
And yeah, like every friend of mine will, would be mad if I didn't pick
Well-
it. 'Cause people love Star Wars.
Because everybody, even as an adult, still plays with. If there's a lightsaber in the room,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
everyone wants to touch it.
If there's a new model coming out, like, do they do that? I don't know.
yeah.
But like, yeah, people have them.
And when the smartphones first started coming out and they had the lightsaber app, you
Yes.
downloaded that thing so you
Oh,
could,
yeah, for sure.
and then you wave your phone around so it would,
It was so sick.
so it would
was
make
so
the.
sick. That was the only reason to buy an iPhone at the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we're at 6, which means we're back over to Johnny. So pitch away.
So I'm going with the toy that came out. I was a huge fan of this cartoon when I was a kid. I was in the fan club.
Yeah.
I got the quarterly magazine. I watched this show religiously. I would draw all the characters. I was a little cartoon kid. I would just draw everything. And they never came out with this toy until I got to the point where I was almost in the 7th grade.
Right.
And I was like, why
Aw.
not? And it was the Thundercats Sword of Omens.
Oh.
Yeah, and it came out. I was like,
You're a little too
I
old.
can't
Yeah.
justify having this.
You should have bought it. Anyway.
I know I should
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, you guys are buying lightsabers as 44-year-olds. So.
No, I haven't.
Because I'm a Jedi in training.
And I didn't buy a lightsaber. I bought Sirius Black's magic wand
Oh.
from when I went to
Harry Potter land.
the Wizarding
Specifically,
World.
Sirius
okay.
Black,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's the cool guy.
He's the cool
Yeah, he's
guy.
the
Cool
bad
uncle.
boy. He
Yeah.
goes
I-
on a motorcycle.
It sits right next to my bed. I have it right next to
for
my bed.
emergency
really?
Patronus.
What do you do? You go,
protection.
please
Yeah.
go
Nice.
to sleep. Go
For
to sleep.
for an emergency Patronus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Did you know that when you go to the Wizarding World, you can make motions in front of certain places?
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
And then it makes
Wow.
magic happen.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But you have to have the wand that you pay $50 to $75.
Yeah.
You know, the
I
only
should
thing I
go.
didn't like about that place was when I tried to pay for my kids' souvenirs.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, Muggle plastic. And I was like, please just
Just
talk normal
Oh,
human.
no.
I don't believe you actually are in the world. Just take my money.
I'm gonna muggle stab you if you say something.
Give you a muggle sandwich.
So, Thundercat Sword of Omens is number 6. What are you gonna put against that?
Oh my god, my pick is
These are
so
deep
weak
cuts,
against it.
bro.
Oh,
These are so
no.
deep.
Mine is super. This details my nerdy childhood. Mine is a microscope.
Huh.
Yeah.
My parents got me a microscope because they were
I had
tired of
one.
me playing with
Yeah.
violent toys, and it was an awesome set. It had like formaldehyde, like bees
Yeah,
and
insects.
bugs and everything like that, and slides. And when I get a bloody nose, I put my
Oh.
blood on the slide and look at it. I thought it was the most awesome thing ever. So
That's a good toy.
Like I know they don't do this anymore. My mom got me, or my dad, one of them got me a huge microscope set. It had a little projector too that you would plug into and it would. Well, it came with an X-Acto knife for like
Oh.
Oh,
dissecting.
That seems like a bad
yeah.
idea. Yeah.
And
safe
so
for children.
yeah, so my dumb ass, I had a piece of cardboard and cut through the cardboard into my hand, not realizing how sharp and I sliced the hell out of my hand, and I hid it from my mom because I didn't want her to
Yeah.
take that. So I had like bandaged my hand up. I should have had stitches. and
Yeah.
didn't do
Oh,
it.
yeah. Thundercat Sword of Omens against microscope.
Microscope.
I should have picked the microscope
Those are funny
transformer.
choices.
at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick this. You pick the next
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Man, oh man, these are all hard because I appreciate the microscope.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with microscope on
Yeah.
this.
Practicality.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
you-
Shocker!
Yeah.
I am shocked.
Because
Yeah.
I really like those toys too, where we get to like the spy toys,
Yeah,
like
right,
all
right.
the
Or-
like you got to do science
Yeah.
or put something
Feel
on
like a
fire.
grown up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. I thought mine came with like 4 bottles of stuff.
Yeah.
And I had mixed something I could make an explosive, or like ninja powder, where it would I could throw this on the
that's
ground.
cool.
And it just landed on the ground.
I took a bunch of like chemicals from the garage and mixed them together one time, and I don't know if you've seen the stuff that like it's a liquid, like you put your finger into it, it's like, bleh, but then if you hit it, it's like a solid.
What?
I accidentally made that in the garage.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just saw a video about that today on YouTube.
Oh,
I gotta find out
crazy.
what it is.
That's
but yeah,
cool.
but it's like liquid if you like go really slow, but if you hit it, it like turns into a
Wow.
solid.
Huh.
Yeah,
And stay solid, or
How
it'll go
on
back to
earth?
and then it
liquid?
goes back to liquid immediately.
Crazy.
And
Yeah.
then the T1000
Just
was.
has me.
Polymorphic alloy.
And then I died from somebody coming back from the future. That's getting deep. All right, 5. We're back over to you, Dennis. What's your pick for number 5?
Mine, I don't know how many people remember this. It's the Nintendo Game Watches. Basically, before there was a Nintendo system, they had these little rectangular LCD games. I mean, it was basically the LCD games where it was pre-whatever
like there's
animated.
7 moves.
Yeah, it was fixed
Right, exactly.
fixed images, and they
Yeah.
would just shine a light on
So
that
mine
one.
was
Yeah.
Popeye catching
Oh,
spinach.
I have that game.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And then another one was catching people who were like jumping out of a
Yeah.
building that was on fire, and then
Whoa.
a parachute one where you catch them. So it was like
Wow.
if you looked at it at the right light, you could see like every single
Yeah,
animated
move, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing I had to entertain me on my flight to Thailand when I was
That's
a kid.
really cool.
And I remember I had like 3 of them. This kid on the flight had like maybe 20, and so I was super envious of him.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so yeah, it used like a little watch battery or something. So that was a precursor
That's
to any kind of
fun.
Game Boy or anything.
Huh.
My dad got me one, and it was a bunk version where it was just a thing on a conveyor belt inside that would look like a little arcade.
Yeah.
And then as the ship came by, you'd have to hit the button to time it so the laser would hit. And if it did, it'd go poof, poof, poof. And that was it.
That
It
was
was
the whole
so easy
game.
to time it. I'd be like, oh, this is not, I wanted the football game.
Yeah,
or-
I had the
yeah,
football
yeah.
game. Yeah. All
So-
right. So what are you gonna put against Nintendo Game
I'm
Watch?
going up against that with the Ghostbusters toy pack set.
Ooh.
And this was another one that came out towards the end of my childhood, so I couldn't play
You
with
can
it.
admit you bought them.
No, I didn't. I wish. But yeah, there was the Ghostbusters pack. It had the PK meter
Yeah.
and the trap
Oh.
that actually had like a pump.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it opened up.
And
I
it would make
remember
the
that.
thing pop, and I wanted that so bad. You know, like we were kids,
Yeah.
you'd have to make your own because
Huh.
when Ghostbusters came out, there was no toys for this.
Right.
No.
And then it wasn't until the cartoon came
The
out and
real
it got really
Ghostbusters,
popular
Yeah.
that
Ah.
they finally started making toys.
I don't even think people thought about making toys for movies for
But
a
they-
while. You
But
know,
Star Wars.
Star Wars was already out. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there was Indiana Jones toys. Like there was, I don't think they thought kids would like Ghostbusters as much as they did.
Yeah, until
Right.
they saw
Because-
all these kids
yeah.
running around with
Yeah.
toilet rolls,
Yeah,
toilet paper
yeah.
rolls.
Vacuum cleaner.
Till some,
Yeah.
till some producer's kid, was like making their own Ghostbusters.
We're like,
stuff.
we should be making some
Yeah.
toys. Yeah. That's my rich old guy voice. we
Ah,
should be making some
toys.
toys.
Mr. Moneybags.
Yeah, Mr. Moneybags. Nintendo Game Watch versus Ghostbusters toy pack.
Okay.
That is to you.
Yes, to me.
Yeah, and then after
then-
this, after you choose, let's just check in with
Let's
the
just-
audience, and then
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
assign somebody to pick the next one.
Yeah. Well, Mignon's on here. Should
Oh,
we
yeah.
get Mignon to vote?
Yeah,
the
have
next
her
one.
have her vote for the next one. She's
Mignon.
she's our age too, so it'll
Oh,
be a
right.
Yes,
little
so
fair.
she'll get it.
Yeah.
So Mignon, you're next. I want to vote for. I like the Ghostbusters idea. That sounds fun.
Okay, cool. Ghostbusters
This
toy pack.
idea. This thing I would never heard of.
So Johnny, you picked up a point for that.
Sweet.
And we're
Yeah.
at number 4, so you get to pitch your number 4.
So my number 4
Oh,
is.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's check in.
Yeah.
What's going on online?
Well, Evan wants to kindly remind you guys you still have a Switch. Cheers.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Princess of Power. What is that?
That was He-Man's.
She-Ra?
Yeah,
She-Ra.
Princess of Power.
Uh-huh.
That was the girls' equivalent of He-Man.
Which they rebooted recently. Very
Netflix.
well on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh.
And her thing was She-Ra. I don't know, something like that.
I
Princess
don't think.
Pam-
No.
No.
That's not it.
So
As a
She-Ra.
super fan, I object to you.
Hold on, let me get the headphone right. She-Ra, Princess Pam- No, that's not it.
wait. So Megan said Rainbow Bright. I remember that one.
Oh, Rainbow
Yeah.
Bright.
I
Yeah.
remember that one. Care Bear shirts. That's not a game.
No, but there was the Care Bears, and then they like
Care Bear stare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stare.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see. Someone else. Okay. So Luis is talking about Ulysses 31. Do you guys know what that is?
Oh, I
And
don't
she
know.
said no one knows it, and it's sad. So I was like, I thought maybe you guys would know
No,
it.
Ulysses
Sorry.
31.
Ulysses 31.
Is this some bunk British toy or
Maybe. Yeah. So
the Americans
Is
never
this a
got imported?
bar? Or is this a
people
What
are
is-
still all about the Shira thing.
Well, it had a really long run on a TV series from 1981 to 1982.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So we don't know it, and it's our fault.
We didn't catch it one
Ulysses
Saturday.
31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it had an animated series to go along
Huh.
with it. It kind of looks like Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of has the feel of Voltron. Just skipping through very quickly. It happens in space, and there's a ship, and that's the whole series. All right,
Okay.
go
You
ahead.
guys remember Transor Z?
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was a robot. It was like around the time of Robotech. It was a robot, but like a kid would get in a ship and it would just go into his abdomen. And then there was a female robot too. And this blew my mind when I was a little kid. Her breasts shot out like missiles. and I was like, what am I watching
Why,
as a
why
kid?
is that weird?
Yeah,
Why is
every-
that
that's what.
And Johnny really liked girls.
Yeah. and I was
Whoa.
like, well, yeah.
He'd
not
always be
only-
like, "Can you fire your missiles?"
Yeah. Oh
When I-
no.
when my
Sex?
girlfriend and
No.
I-
But
yeah.
how about those
Yeah.
missiles?
When my girlfriend and I role play, she's the
Pew, pew.
yeah.
Wow, TMI, man.
No?
TMI.
Alright. You guys don't play Transor Z? Nobody.
No.
We're the only two that do that.
I play Ulysses 31.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very short-lived.
No.
Fits my minutes of sit.
81 to 82 seconds.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But
Yeah.
someone remembers.
Only one person.
Yeah.
Someone remember. The other person remembers in a very disappointed
Yeah.
manner.
Ooh, yeah, not good.
Bummer.
Number 4. Go ahead and picture number 4.
So I'm going with Transformers Dinobots.
Dinobots.
I never had the Dinobots when I was a kid, and I wanted them so bad.
Yeah, I like the Transformer Dinobots. My brother
Transformers.
was young enough to get the Dinobots, so I would play with those. I was really fortunate. He was 5 years behind me. So
Oh dang. You're in the closet playing with this toy.
yeah, no, just out in the open. But
Okay.
yeah,
Shut up, man.
yeah, I would
Grandma.
play at home, but I could justify it to my friends
Yeah.
outside. So Transformer Dinobots, that's good. So it was like Transformers, but they were like dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
And then they ended up in the movies, which I thought was
Right.
really
Oh,
funny.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
Grimlock had the best line in the whole entire movie. Was me Grimlock kick butt.
Is that?
But we remember
Right.
his saying in the original
Yeah.
viewing, me Grimlock kick ass.
But we just watched the movie again, and yeah.
And, and they edited it to
butt.
kick butt.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad.
Yeah. Because we're like, oh no, he cussed, no way. And he kicked butt. Literally, he kicked someone right in their ass.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't remember the movie now.
Aw.
All right, Transformers Dinobots. What are you going to put against that, Dennis?
I'm gonna put my prize toy that I had as a kid, which was my Rambo Enertech squirt gun, which
Ooh.
looked like
An Uzi,
a.
yeah.
Well, no, mine was an Uzi. I had the M16.
Oh.
There was no orange like tip
Nope.
at the muzzle. It would full on look like an M16.
Oh jeez.
It came with a Rambo bandana.
Whoa.
I never got the RPG 7, but it was all based on like the Rambo 3 movie.
I want to point something that people were short-sighted to make. That they didn't make Ghostbusters toys, right? But somebody was like, you know what? We should definitely have a Rambo,
Yeah.
a Rambo toy, an M16 Rambo
Yeah.
toy.
Give it to a kid.
Like, that seems odd,
Yeah.
right?
And then the whole Enertech line. So normal squirt guns were just like this. This was before Super Soakers. These were battery operated.
Yep.
So they actually like were auto fire.
Whoa.
They looked realistic.
Whoa.
They had an Uzi. They had a shotgun.
But they also had the clip would come out
Yeah.
at the bottom too.
Oh my
Wow.
god!
Yeah, basically, if I were to walk
like too
around, I'd
much.
get shot.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what happened.
for sure.
Kids would be playing playing with these things, and like there were several kids that died in the 80s because cops would see them with this and
shoot them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, not much has just changed, but
That's
Yeah,
just like
true.
those kids that their fingers would get caught and a little doll that ate them.
do you remember the ones that they had the squirt guns? They were battery powered squirt guns that came with like bloody water, and you'd fill the thing up and you could squirt,
That is
and
hilarious.
it would
That's
look
awesome.
like it would like disappear ink blood.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
I think I vaguely remember that. That sounds very
Yeah.
familiar.
Or the Oozinator, you remember that one?
no.
Oh, the Oozinator. I
It
do
looked
remember
like
that.
if you watch it. For those at home,
Yeah.
go to YouTube and type in the Oozinator.
Oozinator.
It looks like a jizz gun. Because
What is a jizz gun?
It's a gun that shoots jizz, not a dick, or a penis.
Why did
but-
you have to ask?
Yeah.
I just am
And-
curious.
Oh my God.
What?
See?
You have to Google this.
Jizz gun? I don't
No,
think so.
I was-
Oozinator.
I was like,
Oh, Oozinator?
don't,
No.
don't Google
Not safe
jizz
for
gun.
work.
It's a whole nother thing.
And the kids look like they're getting cum shots. Like,
Oh, no.
I
Okay.
thought he was overstating.
Nope.
No,
This is real.
this is
Oozinator.
real. Oozinator is-
Okay.
looks gross.
Oh,
It
man.
looks like somebody squirting hair gel against a door. It's like, blah, 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 blah.
Mignon, you're voting.
Yeah.
But we're talking about jizz guns over here.
Yeah. Mignon has to choose between Transformers Dinobots and the Rambo squirt gun, the M16 version.
Yes.
Oh
And
my
so
goodness.
wait, now, did you guys have these toys or these toys you wanted?
My list is comprised of toys I wanted.
Oh, okay.
Mine are a mixture.
Mixture,
So the
yeah, yeah.
M16
Just like-
one I definitely had. So imagine
Yeah.
little me with the Rambo bandana.
Running around shooting the cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
Full auto.
wait, can we go back to the Oozinator for just a second? so the commercial, to be able to pump, you gotta pump the Oozinator
Yeah.
like this.
Original shake weight.
What are you doing?
So you have this gun, so you're like,
Can you show me right there? Do you have it up?
I do, yeah. Oh my God.
man.
Yeah,
So then you shoot it. It's like, and then in the commercials, the guy's like, and then it goes,
And then it just goes, and it just kind
and when
of
it's like this, like,
Yeah, and when the
has like a long refractory period.
yeah, there's like chest
Okay.
shots
Yeah.
of people like
yeah,
kids getting jizzed on.
that's exactly what just happened.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
have to hold
Please
it
don't
down
repeat
here.
that anymore,
You
Johnny.
have to hold it right on your crotch.
It's like this toy was designed by
Yeah.
Nambla.
Like, yeah,
Look at his face.
Look at.
That's pure. This is money shots.
And then he looks and he says, "Awesome."
Yeah.
That's my experience every time.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Thanks.
Great, like a Mentos.
yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
At least you didn't get in my hair this. At least you didn't get in my hair this time.
I'm never
Yeah, right.
going to forget this thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
I'm
my-
gonna share that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a vote. Mignon says Dinobots.
All right, yeah, that's
Count it.
fair enough.
Really should have
Count
picked the Oozinator.
Yeah, I guess I should have picked the jizz gun.
Oh my god.
All right, so we're moving into the last 3 rounds. I'm going to pick this one. Sarah picks the number 2, and then we both pick number 1 together. Is there anything online we should know? People, I see just happy faces and love, which
People
means...
are laughing probably at what we were just talking about.
yeah.
It's happening right now.
Whoever on YouTube has that Oozinator commercial, it just like all their plays and views just like
Yeah.
tripled.
Yeah, I
overnight.
know.
Why not? Should we bring it back?
Yeah.
Should I bring it back?
Maybe we need a black one now too. We need to be inclusive.
It's trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's just like a fist,
Yeah. Oh,
an alien dong,
Did you say
the John Holmes
Alien.
alien dog?
jizzinator.
Save it for Shark Tank, man.
Yeah.
Why are you blowing all your ideas
Yeah.
right
Why
now?
are we? Can we cut this out?
That's my intellectual property.
Oh my
Damn.
gosh! I can't believe this is happening. I'm trying to post this in the feed
In the
too.
feed right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's right here. You guys could go watch that. All right.
Nice.
So number 3, Dennis, it's over to you. What's your number 3?
Mine is the Radio Shack branded Archer Space Patrol walkie-talkie.
Archer Space Patrol walkie-talkie.
That was my specific version I had. It
Space.
had it had the Morse code thing like embedded on it.
Oh,
with a
on the
button.
back, yeah.
And so I tried to Morse code my friend, and neither of us could understand. It was just a
Oh.
bunch of beeps. Like, we never understood how it worked. It was like, yeah, did you hear my message? I typed it out.
It'd have the key code on the
I went,
bottom. And
he was like, no, I didn't understand
Yeah.
that. I'm like, try it
No.
again.
Nope, nobody understands it. Nobody understands it.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, what you just said the name of the store and
Radio
it just
Shack.
Radio Shack. Yeah, they had
Recipes?
they had like a I know they had the shittiest things in there. Like a lot of the stuff you would buy would never last.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, like it was always really cheap. And then every time I would go to Radio Shack, thinking they would have to have this thing because they have radio in the title, and they I need to have. They never
It
had.
was just Shaq.
No.
Or they or Shaq, or they had it, but then they never had anybody there that knew anything that they had in stock, so they could never help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And they were
it's-
always really small, right?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
that why
they're
it's called a
tiny.
shack?
just
But I think
Yeah.
you had like a free battery of the month thing. I think my dad was part of.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
What about Circuit City? You guys remember that place?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it had a cool like
The red square.
Yeah,
the
You can always
square
tell when
thing.
what store, like the over in Citrus Heights, it's like the contractor's warehouse.
but
You
it
could
was
tell it was a shelf.
But you could tell it was a Circuit City because
Yeah.
it's got that rounded
Yeah.
square
Uh-huh.
up front.
man.
All right. Well, let's see. Johnny,
down
you're
there.
number 3.
So my number 3 was Laser Dag, but since he already did that, can I
That's-
call an audible?
Nope. No.
Oh,
we gotta go.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
This is the greatest part of the game.
Mm.
I
Yes.
just put in gum in my mouth. 'cause
Yeah,
My breath,
I'm
That's the
glad
best
you
part
could
of
do
the game.
that.
my breath stinks, so I apologize.
I didn't want to say anything,
They
but
can't smell anything on
We
the
can.
internet.
Oh, we have smell-o-vision.
yeah.
You should smell this microphone.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is great. So we have the walkie-talkie against laser tag.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to choose between those two things, regardless of what happened earlier in the game. It's just that those things against each other. This is so hard. This is so hard.
Yeah.
I still think one of the best toys when you were a kid were these damn walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
No matter what brand
You
it
had to
was, you
have-
had to have one.
Especially
True.
when the
Oh, yeah,
the
the metal
antenna,
antenna.
you could pull it out.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really cool. You're like,
That's when you got serious.
Yeah.
That's when you needed extra range.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I gotta call down the street. So I'm going to go with walkie-talkie for sure.
Nice.
Yep. So, Dennis, you pick up that round. We're at number 2. So, Johnny, you get to pitch yours first.
So my toy, I wanted this thing so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I would mow lawns in the neighborhood, and I got $5 per lawn, and I could go down to Gemco.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would take me to Gemco, and for $5, I could buy 2 GI Joes. Sometimes I'd roll my money over and get like a vehicle or like something a little bit bigger. But the thing I always wanted, and when Best, you remember Best?
Oh, yeah.
They'd have the it was like a precursor to like Target.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
okay.
a Best Buy.
Okay.
Yeah, not a Best Buy. It was Best. In fact, they had the one store over, I think in Citrus Heights, where it looked like the brick wall would come out.
They had one at Best. They had one where the Best Buy is now.
Yeah.
That was a Best
Wow.
before.
Yeah, and it had like a retracting wall
Oh.
that looked
Weird.
like the bricks were coming out.
So
of
the
it.
the
But-
front door.
Yeah.
So here's the building. It would at night it would go right,
All
and then
the-
the door was like right here.
All the Best had gimmicks like that.
Yeah.
All the Best stores.
Right.
throughout
So
the
then it would
nation.
open up during the day, and that's how everybody would get in.
that's
But,
cool.
And so Best would send this catalog, and Toys R Us would send a catalog, and the thing I would circle every year for like 4 years in a row, and obviously I would never get it because it was so effing expensive, was the GI Joe aircraft carrier.
Oh.
That thing was like $250 back then.
Whoa.
I had a friend who owned it.
What?
I got to play with it.
Jeez Louise.
It could fit like 3 of the jets
Yep.
on top, and like the
helicopter.
helicopter. It was huge. I think it was over 6 feet long. And every year I'd circle that thing. The closest I ever got to it was the GI Joe hovercraft.
Yeah.
For my 10th birthday.
Just so you know,
Okay.
my two favorite toys of all time when I was growing up were Star Wars toys and GI Joe toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, GI Joe was one of
And-
my favorite.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
They had the coolest body. So the Star Wars character. I know this sounds weird.
No, it's
Okay,
true.
let's just
Yeah.
Okay.
so the Star Wars characters, they would kind of bend
They had
at
hip
their
joints.
hip
Right.
joints.
Uh-huh.
But the GI Joe toys.
And their arms were stiff and the legs were stiff.
Yeah. So
Oh.
There was
so
no real articulation.
so Star Wars
articulation.
they were like
Right.
but GI Joe had the joints that were at the
Joints.
elbow,
Okay.
at
And
the
up here,
knees.
so you could swivel the arm
Yeah,
like this.
so you could do this,
Okay,
and then
yeah,
they would hold
uh-huh.
stuff, right? But I think Star Wars did too. But then they had bodies that they could like bend like
Really
this,
move?
and
Huh.
so they could actually.
They had a rubber
sit.
band that
Yeah,
was
it
in
was a
the
black
chest
band.
down to the hip,
Yes,
to
Oh.
the torso.
yes.
And
So
so
what
they
I
would
would
kinda
do,
stretch.
because I still really like Star Wars, is I would freeze my GI Joe guys in a cup of water, kind of like they were putting
Carbonite?
Carbonite.
Yeah.
So
know
I
where
would
you're
have
going.
all these GI Joe guys in cups, plastic cups, inside the freezer. You would open it up, and then you would have to like, and then you would see them in there, and I'd pose them just like Han Solo. And but if you did that too much, it wore down that little rubber band
Right.
Yeah, it'd
inside,
get brittle.
and so then
Oh.
their legs would come detached from
Oh,
the rest of
man.
their body.
Same with if you spun them up too much to
Yeah.
make,
Yeah.
to make them do a
Twist 'em.
roundhouse.
Yeah.
But you could also like mix and match parts. if you were,
Yeah.
like, really creative.
Well,
Yeah.
I did that with He-Man. He-Man, the arm would pop off. So I'd give He-Man Trap Jaw's laser arm. I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, fuck yeah, He-Man's not just got the sword, he's blasting mofos too.
So that's our childhood.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So
Well,
GI
fun.
Joe, aircraft character carrier, was the pinnacle
That was like
Of the
of
collection.
all GI Joe
what
toys.
people
If you had
want.
that, you were a rich motherfucker.
Yeah, and you got to play with one.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
cool.
Yeah.
All I had was a his tank. So
Oh, those are cool too.
See, I had a ton of stuff, but it's because I mowed lawns.
Yeah.
And I would like let my money roll. I'm like, I got
you ever get
enough.
the weapons pack? You remember that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I would buy those.
Oh yeah.
I had a ton of stuff, but I think it's because my parents were divorced and they were trying to make up for things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's how that rolled. Okay, GI Joe hover aircraft carrier. Dennis, what are you gonna put against that? I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
This is gonna be an uphill battle.
be-
Yeah.
Hard.
I already feel it's an uphill battle
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me in my heart. Mine's just simple Legos, man.
Well, classic though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
classic.
I just had like maybe 3 or 4 of the tiny like pack sets, and I cherish those, which is why. If you ask my wife, we have way too many Legos now because I keep buying for my kid.
Yeah.
Because I keep wanting to play with them. So we have like probably like 100 times more Legos than I ever owned as a kid.
You could probably retire on the money that you spent
Yeah,
on Legos.
probably. But what I loved about, if you ever saw the Lego movie, I had the space sets, and the notorious thing about the space helmets was they would crack right here.
Yeah.
And they actually made that a feature in the Lego movie. The space guy actually had a crack on his chin.
That's so funny. That's so cool.
I thought, wow, I thought
Yeah.
it was just me,
Yeah.
and
No,
I just
everyone.
didn't treat him. Yeah.
And
right.
the
That
thing
was
I
it.
would do to make it look like the visor came, because there was no visor, I would turn the head around so it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
yellow, and that was like
The visor
his,
part.
his like space shield or something.
Oh, that's really smart. That's good.
And the other thing I would do is because they had those antennas on the
Right.
space sets, so that would be my lightsaber for my guy, and then his
Oh,
hand
yeah.
his hand would always get chopped off.
Oh.
Every time I played, someone would lose a hand, and then I
Classic.
replace it with a different hand. Man,
Okay,
being a kid
these
is
are
awesome.
great. So this is to you.
Oh, it's me.
GI Joe aircraft carrier against Legos.
You made it sound like it was gonna be your vote because you're
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
gonna be hard.
No,
Okay.
this is all you. This is
Wow.
you. I'm glad I don't have to make. Well,
I just
I-
think it's so funny that the thing I've learned tonight is that toys are status. You know, like
Oh yeah.
like these expensive toys. Like I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with this aircraft carrier thing
Yeah.
because it's like, well, that's an expensive thing.
Nobody had that thing,
And it's
except for
special.
that rich kid you hung out with.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Just one person.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. So that's my vote.
So GI Joe aircraft carrier. Okay. Yeah,
I would've voted that
I think
way,
that's a
too.
good vote.
Yeah.
I
It
think
just
I-
sounds legit. I'll
yeah.
go buy one right now. It's probably $15,000.
Yeah.
Mid
Yeah.
condition.
It cost as much as a real aircraft carrier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in the block. It's never been opened. It's mint.
You know somebody has one at home.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
They'd probably trade you for the Oozinator.
I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we paid $137 for that Voltron.
Oh.
I think I paid $137
They
for
were
it.
When was
expensive
that?
even when we were kids. I
Yeah.
remember.
That was
Yeah.
when you were a kid.
No, recently.
recently.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna put it up here. I forgot to.
you
I gotta
should've.
bring it
It's
in.
an original. Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely
because
should because
with the
that's
crazy sword.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have the sword.
What?
It doesn't have. The
What do you have to
What?
put his hands together
Dang.
and make the sword appear?
yeah, but he's always stuck. It doesn't work. So one of these days, I'm gonna find the sword for it, though. I'm gonna find the sword. Everyone's like, "Yay!" Sorry, I'm just watching everybody respond. All right, so We got to go to number 1. Dennis, what's your number 1 pick?
My number 1, close to my heart because I still play the game. D&D basic red box set, which is
D&D basic red box set.
That was I actually didn't own it myself. My neighbor did, but that's introduced me into role-playing games. I was a little afraid to play it, honestly, because that was the time of the whole like devil panic, satanic panic.
Oh yeah.
Hail Satan!
Like
but,
Ouija stuff, yeah.
I was afraid that like I was like messing with the dark arts by playing this, but I really wanted to play it, and
that's
it was
cool,
amazing. It's changed me. And as Johnny knows, I still play role-playing games. I just ran one last week.
Yeah, that was my first time ever doing Dungeons.
Well, we played
like
Alien.
RPG. Yeah. That was my first time ever doing that. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It was long. I didn't realize how long those take.
How long is it?
6 hours,
Whoa.
I think.
It can be a long time.
So you pause and you're like, let's take lunch, and then you come back.
Snacks.
Yeah.
My son is playing D&D now, and he loves it.
Yeah.
Like they have a party this Friday.
Nice.
Are
we
Sleepover.
No, I mean it's kind of
44-year-old
no,
guys.
Yeah.
Kind of
He's a great
weird.
dungeon master.
Yeah. I believe you. Yeah. That's just him and his friends. The parent who's hosting this event said everyone bring their own soda. So it's like I guess they're going to be up very late
Oh, I
and
bet.
full of sugar. So
You have to. You can't just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't realize it would take that long. And then we started off in the daytime and then ended.
I heard it could go on
1 a.m.
forever.
No,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, it was long.
Dang.
So D&D basic red box set. What are you going to put against that, Johnny?
So I'm putting up against it. When I was really little, I had it was, I believe, sold through Avon. This is a photo of it.
yeah.
It was the
yeah.
Batmobile soap bottle. It was shampoo. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. So I had this when I was a kid, little. I was like probably 4 or 5.
Through Avon is my favorite
Yeah,
part
that's
of that
funny.
sentence.
Yeah, I remember they'd sell that kid aftershave and like the plastic shave kits
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So the reason I'm picking this because I actually had this, but in my little mind, I swore once the shampoo was gone, it would turn into a real toy.
Oh.
So I had this thing sitting up on the edge of the bathtub for weeks, and my mom, would come in and just be like, we should probably get rid of this. There's no more shampoo. And I was like, no, it's going to become a toy. It'll become a real toy because the back end of it like screwed off and the shampoo was in there. And I was of the faith that it would turn into a toy, and it never did. And I'm sure like I fell asleep one night and then they just threw it away.
Bye.
And that's why I was into drugs for so long. No,
Yeah. That's the saddest story.
no, but I swore this thing. So that's my number 1 toy because it never
It never
actually
became.
existed.
Yours
So-
didn't transform. Mine did.
Oh no! You had a
So-
defective
Yeah.
shampoo.
No, yeah.
That
was,
is hilarious.
yeah, I swore this thing would become. I just knew it would.
I seem to remember seeing that at my neighbor's house. We used
Yeah?
to go over to we used to be a babysitter around the corner from us, and I swear I remember that in their bathroom.
That's a good way to get kids to wash their hair.
Yeah.
Batman
and take
anything.
shower and
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
bath time. Totally.
All right.
That's how a guy coerced me into his car when I was a kid.
This really takes a dark turn, man. And then he introduced you to the Oozinator.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was attached to him. That's what I didn't.
Yeah.
I won't get into it.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay.
So-
it's between.
You and I have to vote.
Mm-hmm.
D&D basic red box set against Batmobile soap bottle
So yeah.
from Avon,
Okay.
From Avon. Yeah.
presumably from Avon.
Okay.
No, it was.
Okay, from Avon.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So we have to
I
vote
got
for them.
elected.
Do you know what you're gonna?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
1,
1,
2, 3. D&D
Batman
basic,
soap bottle by Avon.
D&D basic red box set.
This has happened the last few times. Normally we pick the same
Yeah,
thing,
we're
but the
right
last few
on it.
times we've not been on the
Not
same
on the
page.
same boat.
No.
Mercury's in retrograde.
I'm thinking the D&D. I'm explaining my pick here. I think the D&D because I think that it took a long time for D&D to become mainstream.
Oh yeah,
Heck yeah.
And so I'm making a political vote for that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah. And Batman's always been around. F Batman.
But
Yes.
shampoo like that?
But it turns out it wasn't a toy. It just turns out.
It's a bottle, and now it is in the ocean.
Yeah.
Probably
That's right, I
killing
made a
some
mistake.
dolphin. Way
yeah,
to go, Johnny.
that's true.
Blame my parents. They bought it. All right.
All right, so I think we're gonna have to go and have the audience vote on.
Yeah,
On-
that's right. That's what we do. Okay, so everyone gets to vote.
Everyone gets to
between
vote.
this
D&D.
Batman shampoo versus D&D basic red box.
Yep.
Okay,
Good.
I'll tally it up. And you guys, if you have honorable mentions, this is
Yeah,
a good
this is
time
a
to
good
talk
time.
about
If you
that.
have something that you didn't put on the list, or maybe something.
Yeah,
that
there
was
was a
close to
couple
being on
things
the
I
list.
didn't put on. Pogo ball. I wanted a
ball,
pogo
good.
ball really bad. My mom was like, "I'm not buying you a bouncy ball."
Yeah,
which is
with
the
a disc
plastic
on-
disc on it.
Yeah.
That was one of mine.
Not exactly a toy. Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh,
we love them.
yeah, Garbage Pail Kids. You know, I hung on to mine for a very long time through high school.
Yeah.
And then
I
I
still
gave
have
them
a
away.
few.
Do
What was the other line where it was parodies of products? It was the same people, I think. It would be like instead of soap, the regular Tide, it would be like to die.
You
or
know
something.
who was one of the guys that did, like the main guy who did Garbage Pail Kids? I can't think of his name. He's the guy who did Mouse. This,
Oh, really?
This comic book
What?
that won, I believe,
Yeah.
a Pulitzer
Wow.
because it was about his Art Spiegel.
But the Holocaust.
Yeah, it was about, but it was done with cats and mice, and because his parents were Holocaust survivors, and he's the guy that like did
What?
all the illustrations for Garbage Pail Kids, the original one.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Spiegel, right? I know that's his
Yeah.
last name. I think Art is his first name, but yeah. Another one I wanted was, it's not quite a toy, but it was like in my childhood, was a Swatch watch.
Oh,
I
Everyone
wanted
had
a
yeah.
Swatch watch
Swatch
so
watch.
bad.
I did
Mad
have
Balls.
I did have a Swatch watch. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
nice.
I was
Remember
pretty
they had
cool.
the bands too.
Yeah, I had
That you
yeah,
could
yeah.
change them out.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Another one that we had kind of like come up with a quick outline list was mask.
Oh yeah.
The only mask thing I had was the two motorcycles. The good guy one turned into a helicopter,
Right.
and then the bad guy was a sidecar that shot off and became like the sidecar shot out. and
Yeah.
became like
The
a
stupidest. The
a
main
jet ski.
character was like his sports car's doors popped open and became a plane essentially.
Yeah.
it had golf wings.
I've seen this. I
Yeah.
remember this.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, that was a big one. I had the two little ones because they were inexpensive.
Yeah.
Another one I wanted really bad under Transformers was the Technobots, which were towards the end of like the first
I don't
generation.
remember them.
They were Autobots that formed into like a bigger robot,
Okay.
and they were
Like Destructicon.
yeah, but they were sort of futuristic,
Mm-hmm.
and one was like a motorcycle. The main one was a jet, and I had the middle piece, and I never had any of the arms.
Weird.
That was like the Technobot. I never was able to compile
Could
that.
you get the whole thing together?
Yeah.
Well, that's the worst. If you had like a bunch of the little ones,
Yeah.
but you never completed it to make the big robot.
Yeah, maybe you'd have like an arm and a leg and the torso. And be like,
So
well,
you just kept falling over.
he's a survivor of wars. That leg and arm were blown off.
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
All right.
Lieutenant Dan. Of-
What do people have to say
Okay,
online?
votes are in.
Yep.
Say the number one toy was actually never a toy at all. It's the Batman shampoo bottle.
Oh.
You know why? Because mine came from a place of childhood love and
I
disappointment.
I know this is gonna turn out like so many Uno games, but because we didn't use it, I'm gonna use my Switch.
Oh,
Oh,
Dude, I thought we were gonna be gentlemen and not use that. Well, I'm re-switching.
I knew
Thank
it.
God.
It's
Honestly-
a reverse on the reverse.
people were freaking out. They're like, they forgot the Switch. They
Nope.
forgot the Switch.
I almost said, "Hey, thanks for not." I'm glad we didn't use the
Yeah.
Switch, but then you had to go and use it.
So you're gonna
Man.
use yours back to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
What a jerk!
Ooh.
Who's the jerk now?
That's a classic.
Hey, it's like a nuclear war. You fired your missile, so I have to. It's mutual destruction.
We call that a switcheroony in these parts.
Switcheroony.
The old switcheroo.
Switcheroony tea diary.
We need to. I was reading some of the comments, and people want T-shirts and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and they say if they're around for
we
a while.
need to make
You know what?
those.
We're printing new Comedy Spot T-shirts. So
Yeah.
I was actually having conversations today. So hopefully we'll get those in the next couple weeks.
Nice.
Sweet.
And we will give out some to some of the people that are
Yeah,
online.
that are on here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
So it's coming. Thank you for being
coming.
patient. All right. So
And for watching.
and for watching.
Hopefully you've had
Let
a
me-
good time.
I'm going to read the final top 10 list that you guys competed to assemble tonight.
Okay.
All right. So this is a top 10 list of best toys. So at number 10, we have the Knight Rider Big Wheel. At number 9, we have Laser Tag. At number 8, we have the Crocodile Mile. At number 7, we have the Star Wars lightsaber. At number 6, a microscope. At number 5, Ghostbusters Toy Pack. At number 4, we have the Transformers Dinobots. Number 3 is the Archer Space Patrol walkie-talkie. It's just walkie-talkie. Yeah. And then number 2, G.I. Joe Aircraft Carrier. And number 1 is Batmobile Soap Bottle.
I love that.
Not even a toy.
That's so
Tonight's
funny.
winner with a score of 6-4. It's Johnny. You
Whoa.
pick up the
All
big
This was
points.
a good competition, though.
It was a good competition. It was neck and
Some
neck
good
right
stuff,
to the end.
I know. There was a couple times like, oh, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I did see people saying, use your switch, use
Yeah.
your switch. So, all
I
right.
was like, I know you guys will. I feel it.
I wasn't
There you
going
go.
to, but
Oh.
And then it all
Jerkosaurus
happened.
I
over
tried
here.
to coup de grace you, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I had a friend. One last little story.
Yeah.
I had a friend who we were sitting around talking one night, and we're like, "What if the Transformers?" For those who don't know, the Transformers, they come down in like a prototype body. They're not formed of anything, and then
Right.
they send out these little scan bots that like scan something for them, and that's what they
That's
become.
what they become.
So we were like, what if their scan bots just went out and found anything? So one of them found like a washer and dryer, and so I can't remember what the dryer was, but the washing machine was Spin Cycle. Like that was like his,
that's a
his
good
Autobot
name.
name
Yeah.
was like, and then that's all he transformed
Spin Cycle.
to a
Spin
washer.
Which essentially like takes him out of every battle.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Stereos, like what? Like
Yeah,
Walkmans?
that's
Like,
dumb.
Box.
Yeah.
Yeah, not as good.
Yeah.
Not as good.
Tape decks.
Yeah, not as that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna read all the outro stuff and then we'll call it a night. So please like the Common Spot Facebook page so you can get notified of live streams, or the YouTube, and you can hit the bell, and then every time we go live, it'll tell you when we're going. I got an email and a Facebook notification as soon as we went live tonight from Facebook and YouTube.
Oh,
so
cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's
That's
good.
pretty cool. Go watch all of our videos on YouTube and on Facebook. Subscribe to the Top 10 List podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. So iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, all the things. Follow me on social media at Brian C. Comedy or at my website, briancrawl.com. And do us a favor, tell somebody else about the podcast so we can start, sharing it around, getting more listeners. You two were great guests. This is really good.
Thank you very much.
You guys are very knowledgeable on this topic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're-
very passionate.
We're man children.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Sarah, I really appreciate you tolerating this episode tonight.
Yeah.
I
Hey, you
feel like
know what?
we really
it was
excluded
cool.
you.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Especially about Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
totally.
now-
Yeah.
And
And now she could forget all of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
and how stunted Generation X is.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna force you
Oh,
to
okay.
watch an episode
Uh-huh.
of The Knight Rider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because I was very into that show when I was
Oh,
a kid.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
Okay,
great.
sweet.
Yeah.
Pick your favorite. I'll watch.
Okay. Yeah.
And-
He's gonna have cars.
You know what's funny is
Oh, yeah.
I have
You
my
have a favorite? Yeah.
It's when Michael Knight goes against his evil twin, which is just David Hasselhoff with a mustache or like a goatee or something like that.
and Kit's evil
twin.
version was Carr, who was like the precursor to Kit,
Right.
Yeah.
and it was Karr.
Oh.
So stupid.
If I can do a quick plug, if you like comic books, if you like this and you like comic books,
Yeah.
check out our podcast, Graphic Novel Explorers Club.
Yeah, social medias and things like that. Where can they find you? Or do you guys do the social?
Pretty much every social media is GN Explorers Club.
Okay, great.
Insta,
Twitter, yeah.
I appreciate you guys doing that. I can't wait to listen to your show. I'm like super, and then I'm serious about the Geek Out show. Let's
Yeah,
partner up on that.
And thanks for having us on. This was so much
Yeah,
fun.
we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
love talking about BS.
Yeah.
and
My
stuff.
wife hates me talking
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Get
So
it
Knight
out.
Rider,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no, not again.
Yeah. I'm this close to divorcing you to talk about some stupid pop culture thing again.
Yeah.
No one cares.
I just want to encourage you to all go out and do some role playing tonight. Shoot some missiles at each other, folks, or use the Oozinator.
Use Usinator.
recreate the commercial.
Yeah.
At your own home.
Yeah.
And then send us a video.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
it's-
Just kidding.
No, please
I don't
Yeah,
wanna
don't.
see
don't.
that.
All right, thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
See you later on.